Okay, this is my Mastery Journal vlog for Film Production Thesis number 4, which is Assembly. First to talk about the objectives that I'd set forth in month 2. Number 1, I was going to edit the film according to the principles we learned last month, but last month we actually edited the film, so we didn't do any of that. In terms of enhancing color and sound, well, I missed the one day we did color, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And learned quite a bit about sound design from Bill, a practitioner. And one of my favorite ways to learn is learning through a practitioner, someone who can kind of tell stories from their experiences on a dub stage or on set or whatever the particular role is. I find that to be the most informative and practical advice or experience that lends itself toward an education. That's the way I want to be able to teach others. And number 3 was just getting all the final components together. For me, I was tasked with doing the credits, so I was able to pull the credit list together and put together that final list of credits along with the music. I think it cut in pretty well. This month was an interesting month. I think there's way too much. We talk about sound design. Sound design in and of itself, there's components of theory behind sound design, practical usage of post-sound, ways to put in some ADR, and that was actually a fun session, one of the best sessions I've had, like experience opportunities I've had in some of the classes is doing the ADR session and watching that unfold. But also working with Pro Tools, which I find to be clunky, more difficult, less interesting, and then, of course, the dub stage. The dub stage was an exciting opportunity, but I mean, how often will I really get on a dub stage unless I want to do, post-sound editing, which I have no desire to do. As a hyphenate, a writer, director, producer, I kind of stay in the front end of things happening and carry them into production. But once we get into post, I'm usually assigning post work to someone that specializes in post work. And then we had conforming. Conforming, it never happened, and I'm assuming by conforming they mean taking the video that were the what do you call those? They're like clips in place of the actual clip. Wow, it has really escaped my thinking right now. But you have sub clips that represent the clips that you go and you edit with. And then you go and replace them with the actual clips, the full res clips you can color and mess with as needed. And the AC just went on. That would be a sound issue. I'd get onto my sound guy right now for not turning it off. But either way, and then we get just the final film assembly, which in and of itself is a a huge project when you're putting all the pieces together. I feel like that in a month's time, you're not going to get it all. I mean, there's too much to learn. There's too much information, too many things we have to know. But specifically speaking of, working with Bill Benton, a very knowledgeable guy. Again, I talked about him being a practitioner. Him being able to show us clips and talk about these real-world experiences meant a lot to me. To me, it's much better than someone talking about the theory behind something or the idea. When they've never particularly experienced that, or at least not on with enough experience to be speaking about it as a professional. I mean, I can ride a unicycle, but I'm not going to lecture about riding a unicycle just because I rode a unicycle once. But if I ride unicycles for 20 years, then I can talk about it. I feel like Bill Benton in the same way because of his experience in professional filmmaking, television, post-sound work. He can talk about it. He can talk about those experiences real time, and he can give us clips and show us, hey, on this clip, this is what we did. An example was Independence Day. He talked specifically about how the director wanted a certain thing, and then when he explained it and then he showed us the clip, it was like, wow, I kind of see that coming to life. So loved the course, loved the opportunity to work with Bill. Information overload. There was some stuff I just kind of had to set aside and say it's just too much, but in the end, I walked away with what I was looking for, and that was a better understanding of post-sound. Thank you.